Good evening, everyone. Apologies for that. My internet just dropped out for a few seconds there. I'm sure Lee, who is of course still with me, will put it all back, put the stream into the necessary channels so you can all watch along. The rain has started. The intermediate tyres are on for some of these cars. I don't think all of them have got them on just yet. No, the leader of LGE Germany and Zayek have both not put the intermediates on. Welcome back, everyone who is joining the stream. And as I said, just again, apologies for that. My internet did drop out for literally a moment, but of course it did stop the stream. But anyway, at least we weren't in a racing situation, so if it did have to drop out, it dropped out at the best time. So, well, I think we're going to have another lap of this before we get it underway. So Lee, if you could just put it into the LGE Discord as well, that'd be good. Thanks.
Roger that. Copy. Oh, yeah, that's what was done.
So we'll be getting this race back underway in a few moments. So Lee, it's interesting that Lucas has not picked nor Zayek actually. Very interesting call.
It could just be that middle weather. By the way, check the admin chat. Oh no, that is absolutely lashing it down. They cannot be safe. Sorry, I was on my phone there. Just threw a couple of things in admin chat referring to cross-generation gameplay for the next game coming out, which is in fact, according to some of the devs, that is going to be able to be cross-generation. So if you own a PS4 or a PS5, you shall be able to play with the previous or next generation console. As we see, the safety car is in this lap.
And it's a late call, of course, because the Sector 3 is very short here at Suzuka. Lucas is surely going to have to pit, Lee. There's no point even him staying out for a lap.
No, even if it's just going to be on this one lap, he's still going to be quite screwed. As I see, Lucas Paul has just got a severe collision. Yep, they'll go to...
yeah, he is in. So James, who started second from last, is leading the Grand Prix. We go back racing again on lap 10 of 27. And a few drivers in the pits. Big Weir is in the pits as well, having a terrible race as it stands. The Ferraris go side by side through turn 1 and 2. Amir Guna gets through on the Unsainted and moves up to 11th place. James is being hunted down by the championship leader of Stinos, and looks like he's going to come his prey as he gets to the inside at the Degners. Very aggressive from James. Contact between the two of them. He's round again. Stinos, he's had a big target on his back the last few races. He's now dropped down to 8th place. We haven't got any virtual safety cars or safety cars yet, as Cali Rob is into the wall as well and spun in these wet conditions. Luckily, I think he's just got away with that. He's almost pointing in the right direction. He's going to be able to get himself going again as he's found himself a gap. But some errors happening from quite a few of the drivers, Lee.
Yeah, it seems like no one's got their car set up properly for the rain, and it is hindering them quite a bit.
It most certainly is.
We've seen Vedran is right on the tailcoats of Trunders here. Oh, is he going to go for a move? No, but he
Not
is
just
right
yet.
on his gearbox.
And Zayek is still on the soft tyres, strangely, and will lose position there to Big Weir.
Vedran and Trunders are side by side right now. Trunders has got a bit more speed coming down that straight. On the inside is Vedran. Is he going to? No, Trunders manages to defend successfully.
But he goes underneath, and they're going to go side by side, make a bit of contact. And Trunders still stays in 5th place. And Trunders has certainly picked up his game since Hungary, getting his first points.
Who is that? No idea. I think it might be Zayek.
Crossfires is off on the gravel there, on the exit of the second Degner, as we come into the hairpin of turn 11. Right behind, and Apex is looking in a good position. The only man at the moment that can challenge Stinos. He's 40 points behind. As it stands, he's taking a big chunk of points out of him.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, he's going to get 15 points, whereas Stinos is only going to get 2, unfortunately. So, we're just going to have to wait and see if Stinos can claw back, and if Finlay could get up into the top position. Vedran is going for a move, capitalising on Trunders' mistake at 130R. Trunders went a wee bit wide, but they're still side by side for the final chicane.
As he just gets squeezed out.
But we are seeing a big train behind Vedran. Lucas Paul is going for the move on Chemjazz down the inside. They are side by side right now. And, he shoves him a wee bit away, just a little bit of contact with the front of Chemjazz and the back of Lucas Paul there.
As they still go side by side through turn 3. Now turn 4, into the S's they go, side by side they go. Chemjazz is round, and that is uncommon for the Williams driver to be round. And is now down in 10th place, going to lose it to the Unsainted, and does get out of the way.
Vedran, 3-second time penalty. We've seen Crossfire has really managed to close that gap in on the James there. He's got it down to less than 2/10.
He certainly has, as he's now going to look for the move. Maybe he looks to the outside. He was maybe looking for a little lunge on the inside, but Spoon isn't the heaviest of braking zones. His next opportunities, we know, is a Casio triangle chicane after 130R. I wanted to overtake round the outside. His Crossfire is going to make that happen now as we go down towards 130R. No, just a little bit too far back. Is he going to go for the lunge at the chicane? He does go for the lunge at the chicane, but James holds on for the moment as we come out of the final corner. Of course, DRS is now deactivated, so just some good old slipstream to try and get past, and Crossfire looks like he's going to get past.
Seen Chemjazz and the Unsainted are battling it out here. Chemjazz desperately trying to get up into where he was.
As Crossfire does take the lead away from James now. Lucas Paul and Stinos. Lucas Paul and Trunders, sorry, are very close together once again, fighting for 6th place.
You've got this train from 6th place all the way to 9th place. All 4 cars. See, Lucas is going for a move on the inside of the Dunlop curve on Trunders, coming into the Degnas. He's on the outside.
Stinos tries to sneak through.
Oh, and he's into the gravel.
As Trunders is putting up a hell of a defence. Ami Aguna tries to go around the outside. A bit of a lag from him there, and she stays on the track. Is he going to get better grip and better traction out of turn 11? He does. But he now takes himself out with the lag. He's now out of the Japanese Grand Prix on lap 13. That might be a safety car, and is.
Oh, Lucas, hey, Jeremy just managed to make it past the Unsainted and Chemjazz there. At the hairpin. You literally just made it past both of them before that safety car came out. These went from 11th up to 9th now. Well, 12th up to 10th at the time. But, let's see, this is going to help people who aren't really set up for the wet conditions, which I think is the majority of the field. And if this is going to continue on for the rest of the race, then who knows what's going to happen. But this is going to help Zayek manage to get back and hopefully catch up to the back of the pack again. As you see, Stinos, Unsainted and Chemjazz are all into the pits. Let's see what is going to happen. So the Unsainted is serving a 5-second penalty and a wing change there. And he's going on full wets. Big Weir going on a fresh set of inters. Cali Rob on a fresh set of inters. And same with Chemjazz. Oh, and the Unsainted has retired from the session.
That's an interesting one, isn't it, Lee? I'm not really sure what to say about that one.
Yeah. Must have just thought to himself, nope, not down rain, not a Suzuki anymore, that's it.
So we are down to 13 in this race, unfortunately, but we are at half distance. Got a safety car, all the drivers will get themselves all bunched up again. We'll get ourselves back underway. We'll just say again, thank you very much for all the support. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. We're at 197 as it stands in the live stream, and we're really hoping to get to 200. If not by the end of today, by the end of the week. And we've got 5 days of action this week on LGE with LFR and LSR. At the weekend, of course, Monday, Tuesday and Thursday for LFR and LSR on a Saturday and a Sunday. Back with me again on Saturday for Group 2 of LSR. Of course, back on F1 2021. And Lee, you've been enjoying GT7 as well, haven't you? Obviously, you had the stream last night. Been having a little go on it yourself?
Yeah, it's actually quite fun, to be honest. Quite enjoying it. Oh, I don't know what it is, but sometimes it just feels more. It feels more real, you know. Sometimes just with it being actual cars, rather than these souped-up jet cars that we're watching right now.
Yeah. It's more raw.
Yeah.
And it is more of a simulator, to be fair. I do love the F1 game, but it is a game at the end of the day. Some people won't agree with me on that, but I think it is true. So, obviously, the safety car going to end this lap. We have got one car astray at the back, Zayek, who's yet to catch up. Is it going to give it another lap for Zayek to catch up?
I don't think so. I think he might just catch up in time. But on the bright side for him, then, that's going to leave him with nice toasty tyres for starting as compared to the rest of the field. That's if it starts this lap. As he's coming around the hairpin right now. Around turn, what was it, 12? This one?
Yeah, turn 12. Turns 13 and 14, Spoon.
Oh, see, I remember, sometimes with certain tracks I could remember the name, but not the corner number. And sometimes on other tracks it's the opposite way about.
Yeah.
But as I see, yeah, it's going to do another lap.
It will do another lap. So, what do we have to talk about, Lee? We have tomorrow to talk about, Tuesday's sprint.
Whoop, whoop.
Britain, home race. And our penultimate sprint format, I think.
I'm going to be making sure I am well and truly prepared for that slobber knocker.
Not what?
Slobber knocker.
Nice. Nice. Like that one. Okay.
But
On
yeah,
that
it's
note,
going to be interesting with it being Silverstone and it being a sprint race, because there is plenty of places to overtake. At Silverstone, there's it's only 2 DRS zones there, isn't it? If I remember right.
Britain, yes.
Yeah. You know what? It's with this Australian Grand Prix just a couple of weeks ago that kind of messed with that. 4 DRS zones. It's like it's just going to be a train.
Yeah, they took away one of the DRS zones in the end, though, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a bit unsafe. I would have thought, you know.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was a little bit unsafe, so we will get ourselves back underway in but a moment. Just waiting to get to the end of sector 2, because that is when we will get ourselves back underway again. Crossfire strikes as it all to do now. It was James leading before. A few of the drivers towards the back, like Stinos, has made a pit stop. Is that going to really help them with about 11 or 12 laps to go?
I reckon this is wet conditions.
I think
wet tyres.
Yeah, it's starting to get to that point, isn't it? So we'll have to wait and see. I don't think anyone's going to risk it and come in. Welcome along, everyone who's just joining us. Apologies, my internet did lag out for a minute. Oh, that was sneaky from Crossfire Strikes. Looked like he was going to go in, but didn't. He gets us back underway again on lap 17 of 27. 11 laps to go as James looks to take that first place back. Apex really close behind him and hoping to take the win, as Stinos is in a low point scoring position at the moment. Lee, 2 Red Bulls are fighting it out as Chemjaz is out of the Japanese Grand Prix. We're down to 12. It's wet conditions, it's Japan. I thought there might be some attrition tonight, and there has been.
Ooh, I thought James was just...
Oh, it's Apex. Sorry, Lee. Apex and James are side by side going into Degner 1. Still side by side as they go through Degner 2. They're still together and they're going to keep going all the way to the hairpin as they're jostling for position. Apex breaks that a little bit later. Looks like it might pay off. Anthony, he wants to get in the fight as well. And Vedran, the 2 Red Bulls are fighting for position. Apex gets himself up into second place. 3-second gap to Crossfire Strikes, but gets himself up into second place and getting himself 18 points at the moment.
That was great battling from the 2 of them there, and then same with the Red Bulls on each other there. But I'm watching, I'm thinking Lucas may be going for a move on Trunders here, as we're coming in around 130 yard. Trunders keeps
very,
it
very
nice
close.
and tight this time. He doesn't make the same mistake he did against Vedran and run that wee bit wide. Oh, Lucas Paul taking a bit too much curb there. Earns himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings exceeding track limits. As you see, Cali Rob is into the pits, and so is Lucas A. Germany. They must have been the 2 and Chemjaz that had contact at the start of the restart.
And Big Rear, he's had a bit of a shocker so far in this Grand Prix.
Oh, sorry, Lucas Paul and Trunders side by side there into turn 3. A little bit of contact from them.
And Stinos charges round the outside of his Alpine teammate and moves up into 7th place.
I think Lucas Paul went and lifted off a wee bit to allow Stinos, as he knows he's on the fresher tyres, past.
And needs as many points as he can.
Yeah.
To try and hold off Apex Finley.
He knows that Stinos is capable of reducing them points. As you see, James is around.
And facing...
Not sure if there was contact with Vedran there or not on the exit of the hairpin.
Oh,
of
he
turn
gets
11.
close to Zayek there. Big Weir now moves up to 8th.
I don't think he's got any wing. And again, for the second week in a row, he's like a spearhead that ain't penetrating any shields.
As Stinos is getting very close to the back of Trunders now, as you're about to come into 130R. As he makes a bit of contact with the Alfa Romeo driver. Now going to look to the inside into the Casio triangle. Thinks better of it for the time being as he comes through the second part of it, turn 17, and now into turn 18, which is certainly a corner in the wet, getting good traction out of that corner. Nothing between the tyres of the Alfa and the Alpine. Who's going to be later on the brakes as they make a little bit of contact? Trunders just stays ahead. Well done to the Alfa Romeo man. He does run a bit wide. Zayek is out and retired in the pits. Don't know why, he was getting points where he was.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, my friend. But these two Red Bulls are looking like they're going to score some good points here with a third and fourth.
They certainly are.
Apex isn't managing to make any kind of dent into this 3 second gap to Crossfire Strikes. They're just managing to keep it at the same. But the battle is on right now between the Alpine and the Alfa Romeo of Trunders and Stinos. These two are battling it. Stinos is really wanting to get back up there into the podium, hopefully, for himself. As you see, he's going on the inside of the spoon curb. Is he going to... No, he backs out of it. Thinks better of it. Probably the best thing to do. Try and get a better exit. Going down the 130R.
He's got the inside this time. They're playing a bit of chicken with each other's tyres. As he looks to the inside, Trunders is still trying to hold on round the outside. Will have the inside line to the Casio triangle. And he's still trying to hold on, but Stinos is now going to have the inside line. Lucas Paul is going to try and seize on his teammates' gains as he dives into the pit lane. Is he going to go for the wet tyres? It looks like Anthony's going for it. And he's onto the wet tyres. This is an interesting call for the Red Bull man and the Alpine driver.
Both of them going for the wet compound. Lucas Paul has got a 5 second penalty there. So that's going to hinder him a bit. Is he going to come up behind Cali Rob? You see Cali Rob is just crossing the line now. And it looks like he's going to get Lucas Paul. Is Lucas Adrian going to do it? Or is this going to be the battle of the two Lucases?
It looks like it's going to be a battle of the two Lucases. And it's going to be interesting to see the wet tyres. Yeah.
It's like how last week we had the battle of the three kings.
We did. We did. That certainly got scrappy towards the end, I can tell you. As we'll see what Lucas A. Germany can do on these wet tyres. If he can close up that gap to the intermediate runner, it's going to be interesting to see if the wets were the right call. But the skies look like they're brightening up, Lee, actually.
I'm still thinking it's...
But look at the bright skies as we're on board with Big Weir coming up towards 130R. Certainly bright in the distance.
Yeah, but it's still a lot of lane water on the track. So you've seen a lot of puddles. So I don't know, I don't think the intermediate tyres are the right call, but then again, I'm not on track at the moment. As you see, Vedran has boxed. Is he going on to the wets? Yes, he is. Full wet, the blue walled tyre. Let's see how well he's going to do.
I don't think they're the best tyre, to be honest.
Let's see if Anthony's going to manage to get the undercut on him.
No, he's not, which gives me an indication that the wets aren't the best tyre.
Yeah.
I think the Red Bulls might have dealt themselves a bad hand there.
Mind you, actually, I do, because Anthony did have a 5-second time penalty.
Oh, he did?
So, and he's
Yeah, you're
managed
right.
to do that 5-second penalty, and he's still right on the coattails of Vedran. So, Lex could be the way to go. Or are we going to see people like Crossfire, Finlay, Stenos, Trunders and Big Weir stay out on these intermediate tyres and hope for the best?
We'll have to wait and see.
It's going to be a tough call for Finlay and Crossfire, and Trunders with them being 12 and 13 lap old intermediates. So we're going to have to see in the next few laps time how things are going to fare out. Big Weir is right on the back of Trunders.
Has some much fresher tyres as well compared to Trunders as well. Half the life of the Alfa Romeo tyres, as the front runners don't pit. They don't think it's wet conditions. I think I'm agreeing with you, Lee. I think it is wet tyres now. It's really getting bad as neither of these guys pit. We'll see if Vedran and Anthony can start closing that gap. They are, but have they got enough laps to be able to do so? Maybe that's why the drivers from first to fifth are staying out.
Yeah, I think it's one of these tough ones. Do you pit? Do you risk it, pit and try and get back up there, or do you risk it the other way and just stay out and hope that you can manage to keep it on the track?
Well, here might be the answer to your question, Lee. Cali Rob is looking to make the overtake on Anthony here on the intermediate tyres. He's just looking so much faster than Anthony at the moment. Do we think he's going to get the job done here? No, I think he's going to wait for the hairpin. Yeah, I think he's going to wait for the hairpin to get this move done. As he's now got great traction out of the Degner. He's going to maybe look to the inside. He goes very wide there and then has a very tight inside line for Anthony. Side by side between Cali Rob and Anthony. As Anthony still stays ahead. Maybe it is right on a crossover point between the tyres.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Cali Rob there, it was like he lost traction on the exit of the hairpin there of turn 11. And he had to lift right off in order to regain traction again, which cost him quite a bit of time and 7th position, as he couldn't finalise the move, unfortunately.
So, we're watching Big Weir at the moment. He's 7/10 behind Trunders at the moment. He's been having a really good performance from Hungary a couple of rounds ago when he got his first points. In the points again, in 4th place, will be his best result this season, but he has got a time penalty to his name as Cali Rob pits. I think the time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He's retired from the race, which means it'll bring James into the points. We had a lot of drivers feel quite uncomfortable in these conditions today. At Japan, it's not one of the best racetracks, to be honest, for the feeling on the car and things like that. With how well the car feels on this circuit, it's not the best one. I argue the 2020 game was better than this one, but Big Weir is still just holding close behind. Stenos, though, Lee, is caught right up to Apex Finley, who's on much older tyres. These are the two main championship contenders at the moment, championship rivals, really, but there is a big gap between the two of them. Apex really needs to hold him off, even though it's only a few points. It's still a little bit of a dent in his lead.
Yes, he's not exactly gonna roll over and allow Stenos to gain the position. So I'm expecting to see a good battle between these two, as I'm going back to the other battle between Trunders and Big Weir here. And Big Weir's still not able to catch up enough to make a move or do a bit of a lunge to gain that fourth position yet. But we see Stenos is, oh my god, I thought 2 seconds.
As Lee's just going to sort himself out there. There's 4 tenths between Apex Finley and Stenos, 4 to 5 tenths between Trundles and Big Weir. These are high point scoring positions. But of course the big battle is the 3 tenths battle. The clouds are really starting to clear up, Lee. The rain has settled. So the wet tyres were a gamble that just did not pay off. But this is intriguingly between Apex Finley and Stenos. Who is going to come out on top? Looks like there's a lot of deracing between the two of them. Is Stenos going to go for it now? No, just he's going to wait and bide his time. Comes through the last corner now of turn 18. Struggling to get on the power with these big puddles forming on the circuit. Just under 3 laps to go now.
You see, Lucas said Germany's managed to catch up with Anthony here. There's only half a second between them as he comes through the Casio chicane. Oh, and Lucas said Germany using every bit of that track, almost going right off the track on the exit. As he's coming up, is he going to go for the lunge into turn 1? No, he thinks better of it. But is he going to get him on the exit?
Oh, is Anthony struggling?
Yeah, I think it's like a perfect crossover. Oh, and Lucas, oh, that was lucky. If he didn't make contact for a second time there with Anthony, that would have been Lucas Germany round at the S's. Let's see, is he going? I think he's going to go for a move here.
He does go for it. At the second, Degner, nice move. It was a little bit easier for him as he was on the better tyres for the conditions. But nice move, 2 tenths separate the championship protagonists at the moment. Lee, as they come into the Casio Triangle for the 25th time. And once they cross the line, as Crossfires has now, there's going to be 2 laps to go. And Stenos is on the attack now. That is for sure. Is he going to go round the outside at the first turn? And now we're into the second turn. He's still looking to go round the outside. He's going to have the inside for turn 3. Gets the move done. The championship leader moves up into second place. Great move.
Lucas and Vedran are battling out around 130 yard there. They're side by side at the Casio chicane. A little bit of contact. Lucas ends up having to cut the corner there.
Gets himself a 3-second time penalty. He might argue to get that taken off, but he would have to start losing a bit of ground, I'd argue, Lee. He'd have to start lifting off a little bit to argue that penalty, because he's gained a lot of ground there on Vedran.
At the end, I don't think that's gonna, as he was in front before the corner, and it was just a little bit of contact between the two that caused Lucas to go and have to cut the track a little, but he has gained a lot of time there. Anthony is right on the back of his Red Bull compatriot for 7th place. Is he going to go for the move, or is he just going to stick behind? Bearing in mind that Vedran does have a 3-second time penalty. Nope, Anthony's just going to go for it. Right out of Degna 2, coming into the hairpin, and he's just made it look easy.
He certainly has, and he's got that done. So, he's up into 7th place. The Red Bull drivers have certainly got the strategy wrong today, as we're on the final lap of this Japanese Grand Prix in Monday's Limitless One. Is Big Weir going to go for the move on the last lap, or is he just going to sit behind him for the entirety of this race. As Sinos is starting to get away from Apex Finley now. Looks like that battle is signed, sealed and delivered. Just watching Big Rear right behind Trunders. There's no need for him to make an overtake here, as Trunders has got himself a time penalty.
Yeah, he's got himself a 3-second time penalty, so that's going to aid in Big Rear. He can just cruise nice and slow behind, and there's no need to go for an overtaking risk, crashing them both out. Both of them crashing out, so yeah, I'd say the wise choices would be to just stick behind.
Yeah, so Lee, I have actually given Crossfire Strikes a bit of bad press about his racecraft today, and he's certainly put in a good performance and crucially proved me wrong. He has had a win this season in Monday's Limitless 1, but takes another and wins the Japanese Grand Prix, slows for the line and wins in style. Stinos crosses the line, the championship leader extends his advantage at the top from his closest rival of Apex Finley, who finishes in third. Trunders is getting himself another points position. He is going to fall back behind Big Weir behind, as he has got himself a penalty. He crosses the line in fourth. He's going to finish in fifth place. The Red Bulls, as Anthony is round on the final lap, not for the first time this season. He did it in China as well earlier on in the season, round 2 I think, and he's now round again.
Oh, Lucas Paul nearly making contact with him there.
As Vedran comes home in 7th place.
But let's see, is James going to manage to get the move done on Anthony? Trying to see. Looks like his tyres are a bit hot, but is James going to manage to go? Is he going to go for the move? It looks like he's giving it all he's got.
He's going to go for it. He goes for a big old lunge on the outside at the Casio Triangle. He's now got the inside line. They're going to be fighting for this towards the line. It's a drag to the line. James is going to take 9th place, and Anthony crashes into the wall, but he's still going to get himself 1 point, as he didn't DNF. We probably would have given him that, as he was so close to the line anyway. But that was a dramatic end to this Japanese Grand Prix, and Anthony is going to finish in 10th place.
There was actually a lot more overtaking in that race than initially expected, to be honest. So yeah, that was quite good, to be honest.
MFC Trunders gets himself driver of the day. Crossfire Strikes takes the win. It's been a while for him, and Stinos does finish in second. So Crossfire said finishes in first, Stinos second. Apex Finley is third, and Big Weir is fourth. Good points for the Aston Martins. Good points for Big Weir as well, as he fell so far back. Trunders is 5th place. 6th is Lucas A. Germany. Vedran finishes in 7th. 8th is Lucas Paul, formerly known as Darth Vader. James is 9th, and Anthony rounds out the entirety of the field that finished in 10th place. Last of the points finishers: Cali Rob, Zayek, Kemjaz, the Unsainted, Amir Guna, Veloce Ayub, X-Gamer and Robin did not finish this Japanese Grand Prix. And as Lee summed up before, there was a lot more overtaking than we initially expected for this, especially with the mixed conditions as well, because it certainly makes it harder with a wet or intermediate race.
Yeah, I mean, let's see who was it that got fastest lap. Stinos with 1.6.
So he gets himself 19 points today. And extends his lead. It's not going to be long before we are going to be crowning this man champion in Monday. So, and another thing to point out, which I should have said at the start of the stream, or the first stream, so there is 2 streams for this, anyone watching now. There will be a first stream and a part 2 because it cut out. We will be doing Overtake of the Week, and I can see a couple of these maybe getting on that video that will be posted towards the end of the week. And we'll have to have a wait for that one. But for tomorrow, we've got the British Grand Prix. No place like home at Silverstone. Of course, sprint format, the short qualifying, 5-lap race, and then the 50% Grand Prix. And that's going to be taken at the helm by Chemjaz and Big Weir. And on Thursday, we're back for Formula 4 late with sprint qualifying format. And that's going to be Formula Jonah and Iggy combo for that one. And we're looking forward to that new format again after the full qualifying that was quite good last week.
Well, for some people, for other people who were out in Q1 like myself.
You're doing alright in the race though, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I find it a lot easier, is in the race. Over one lap, I'm quite terrible, to be honest. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Anyway, we'll catch you tomorrow. We will have action from LSR this week. I'm sure Jonah will fill you in on that one on a Thursday, with Group 2 for me for that one on Saturday, and then Sunday. And these are at 9:30 UK times, guys, PM. And on Sunday, Group 1, the top tier in LSR. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Please like and share and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 200 subscribers, so hopefully by the end of the week that will be achieved. So thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you next week for Monday, when we're going to be at Singapore with me and Lee for that one. So hopefully you'll be able to check that one out under the lights for the street race at Singapore. And it's goodbye from me for today. We'll see you next week, and from Lee,
Peace out.